Welcome to Mama Sue's Kitchen. I'm going to share something with you today that the name just caught my eye when I saw it. The name of this cake is the Elvis Presley Cake. And they said some people call it Jailhouse Rock cake. And the reason it's called that, they say, is this cake is so good it just rocks you. But anyway, it calls for 1 box of white cake mix. And you can get Duncan Hines, Pillsbury, whatever you want. And it says to make the cake by the directions on the back. So the directions say 1/2 cup of oil, and I'm using vegetable oil. 1 cup of water. And 3 eggs. I'm going to mix that together. I don't know if you can hear me over the mixer, but I hope you can. Growing up, I loved Elvis Presley. I loved his singing. I loved his movies he was in, and I look back now and they were silly, really, but really liked him. And my sister-in-law, Belvin, loves Elvis. She has so many of his collections, and I never see anything about Elvis that I don't think of her. Now, what we're going to do is put this in a 9 by 13 inch dish that has been sprayed. I've preheated my oven to 350 degrees. And when this cake cooks for, the recipe says for a 9 by 13 to cook it for 34 to 38 minutes. Now, I'm going to check mine after 30 because my oven cooks a little bit faster. But I'll tell you exactly how long I cook it when I come back. Okay, my cake cooked for 30 minutes and it was done completely. So you'll just have to check it according to the way you know that your stove cooks. But anyway, I've let it cool, and the recipe says to take the end of a wooden spoon and poke holes. So I did it, most of it, so I could just show you what it's talking about. Okay, now you're going to take, I want to make sure that you can see this. Okay, you're going to take 8 ounces of crushed pineapple. Y'all, I can't find an 8-ounce can of crushed pineapple anymore. So what I did, and you leave the juice. What I did, I bought the 20-ounce can, and 8 ounces is a cup, so I know that. Now, you add 1 cup of sugar to that, and 1/2 of a teaspoon of vanilla. Okay. And we're just going to cook that for a little bit. And what we'll do now, when that's going to heat up, and we're going to just cook it a few minutes when it gets hot, and we'll pour it over our cake that has the holes poked in it. I was telling you about Elvis before I put the cake in the oven. You know, the younger people today really don't know anything about Elvis Presley, but our grandson, who is a student at the University of South Alabama on a ROTC Army scholarship, went to the movie about Elvis. He loved it. He and his girlfriend, I think, saw it numerous times. But you know, Elvis was always so giving, or I have read that he was just so giving during his time. It's hard to believe how old he would be if he were alive today. And it's sad that his daughter, Lisa Marie, has passed also. But when I saw an Elvis Presley cake, I expected it to have bananas or peanut butter. But when I researched, that was his favorite sandwich, was a banana sandwich with peanut butter. And everywhere that I Googled an Elvis Presley cake, it was with the pineapple. So, that is, yeah, it's hot. It's just going to take it a while to heat. But while we're waiting for that to heat, I just wanted to thank y'all so much for following me here and on Home with Mama Sue. I guess you know by now, it's two totally different Facebook pages. Home with Mama Sue is also on YouTube. Those of you who watch Mama Sue's Southern Kitchen on YouTube, you can go to Home with Mama Sue and see. And even in the short time that I've been on, I think you realize that you don't know what to expect. You know, on here, you know it's going to be something about food usually, unless we're doing a live where we're just talking about things. But I find that some of you have asked me about different things about my home, and I can do that on the Home with Mama Sue where I'm cooking here. This is beginning to, I can hear it. So I know it's just about to start really heating up. It's beginning to bubble right now. I can see it. And I am going to wait after I put this on this cake, and it'll go into the holes that we've poked with our spoon. I'm going to let it cool for just a little bit. And after we do that, then I'll come back with the frosting. You can see that is beginning to boil. And it says on here to boil the pineapple with the juice, cup of sugar, and a half a teaspoon of vanilla for a few minutes. It's boiling right now. You know, it's not a hard boil, but it is boiling. And we'll put that on there, and then I want it to cool completely before we do the next step. So we will come back then. Let me turn this off, and I'm going to pour this over the cake. Carol loves pineapple. And I forgot to tell you what I did with the rest of the pineapple. I sure didn't throw it away, because there's one of two things that I could do. I could make a carrot and raisin salad and put the pineapple in it. Or tonight when Harold gets his Bluebell ice cream, of course he'll probably eat it with cake tonight, but I put it in the refrigerator. I thought he could do that. He could eat the pineapple on that. But this is what the cake looks like when you get the pineapple with the juice and it's soaking into the holes. Now, I'm going to pause and I will be back when this is cool and we'll put the frosting on. Okay, we're back now to do the frosting for this Elvis Presley cake. What you do is you just take 1 block, 8 ounces of cream cheese that is softened. I've had mine out this morning on the counter and it is soft. Let me make sure I get all of it that's in the creases. I've noticed that I have trouble with that tearing evenly lately. Alright, and then 1 stick of softened butter. You know what I did? I put this over on the top of my stove while my cake was cooking and it got really soft. Okay, now we're just going to mix this really good. Now we're going to add 3 cups of powdered sugar, 1, 2, 3. Let's mix that. Start it slow. If you don't, you'll get a cloud of powdered sugar dust all in your face and on the countertop. You want to know how I know that? You've probably seen me do it. You can turn it up after it begins mixing. Now we're going to mix 2 cups of pecans that are crushed, and I have the Whaley, the small pieces, and that's what I love because I didn't have to do anything to them. If you want to order some, you can go to whaleypecan.com, and they're from right here in Alabama, in Troy. So I have 2 cups right here, and I'm going to also add a half of a teaspoon of vanilla. And we'll mix that up good. I think I may just try to stir it because it's going to get all in my beaters. But I have done it with my beaters and it's fine. So I think I can just do this. Now the recipe calls for 3 cups of crushed pecans, and I'll tell you what we're going to do with the other cup that I didn't measure out. Alright, I'm going to get my cake. There's a pecan, we don't want to lose it. Getting the cake out of the refrigerator. Alright, now I'm just going to spoon this frosting over the top. know I love cream cheese frosting. Gotta be careful because I don't want to pull the top off. So good. You know what I think I would do the next time? Spread this on while the cake's still a little warm, and it'll spread easier. But I've got it this way. It just makes it a little bit harder to spread if it is cold. Now, what the recipe says to do with your other cup of crushed pecans is to sprinkle on top. Y'all, I'm not going to add those. There's plenty of pecans here. If you wanted to, you could. And I'm going to leave it in the recipe because that's what my recipe says. But I'm not adding the other cup. This is as pretty as it can be. And we didn't skimp on the pecans at all. You know, this cream cheese frosting is used for a lot of different cakes. You really can't go wrong with it. Here's my spoon. I'm gonna save just a little bit to eat myself. Okay. Goodness. I think Elvis might be proud of this. Elvis Presley Cake, sometimes called Jailhouse Rock. You saw how easy it was. You just use a cake mix and then you add the filling, which was so easy, and the frosting. I'm gonna let this, it says on here, to let set overnight for best flavor, or at least 6 hours. So I'm not going to cut this right now. I'm going to let it set for 6 hours, and there will be a picture on my page, MamaSue'sSouthernKitchen.com, with the recipe. So you can find the recipe if you go to my website. That's where you can also find how to order my cookbooks. Be salt and light wherever you go. Let others see Jesus in you. I'll be back soon.